Welcome back. We're talking with Dr. Diamond about epilepsy. We were saying if someone's having a convulsive seizure, what to do with them, but there's also, situations where day in, day out family members need to just extend their hand to them.
Exactly, and so to help make sure that people are taking their medications as recommended and regularly, and assure that they're taking care of themselves and keeping themselves well, getting the sleep that they need, and not pushing it when someone is otherwise sick.
What's the biggest myth about epilepsy?
I think the biggest myth, that's a tough question. The biggest myth about epilepsy is that I think that there's a misconception that it's not as common, I think, as people realize. I mean, it's far more it's far more common and far more likely to happen, I think, than people understand. And sometimes we have this conception that if a seizure is happening, someone is falling to the ground or having a convulsion, which certainly happens, but that's not true for all people. So sometimes a seizure can be staring off and not responding to questions that are being answered, or being asked, excuse me, or having repetitive or rhythmic movement of a head or an arm or a leg. Sometimes people might smack their lips or fumble with clothing and not respond for a brief period of time. So seizures in our minds aren't always what we imagine to be or what we see on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Is it genetic? I mean, is it something where if my mom and dad had it, then I should go to a doc and say, hey, am I susceptible to this, or how does it?
So many of us are genetically predisposed to having seizures, but there are certain things that can happen to us in life that actually make seizures more likely to happen as well. So for example, a brain infection or a brain injury may occur, or as I mentioned, someone might have a stroke and then go on later to have a seizure. It's anything that causes an injury or a disruption, or sometimes that genetic predisposition that results in the change in electrical firing, which is a seizure.
And you were saying that, there's no cure out there right now, but there is people who are going through surgeries or trying different medicines to try to help kind of with epilepsy.
Absolutely. There's lots of medications out there that we can use to help. And then sometimes if we have a harder time getting seizures under control with medications, there's electrical devices that we can use to try to help regulate that activity for people. And occasionally we'll move on to do surgeries to try to help control the seizure activity as well.
Yeah.
If people want more information, can they contact you? Is there a website?
Absolutely. So the Epilepsy Foundation is a wonderful resource. The Epilepsy Foundation of Minnesota is a very active source here in the Fargo-Moorhead community as well. And just visiting that website provides a ton of information. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of activities regularly for people who have epilepsy and the families of those who are dealing with seizures and epilepsy. There's support groups in the area. There's regular fundraising activities, and so checking that out is very helpful. Yeah.
Favorite Christmas song is?
White Christmas.
Yay!
All right, we may get it on Christy's list. Thanks for being here. Great stuff.
Thank you.
All right, stick around. Much more coming up right here on North Dakota Today.
Candy canes and silver lanes aglow.